I did it the other night.
Right over in that, Jack.
Oh, man.
Happy New Year, Coach.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Throwing that on the collar or the whistle or whatever it's for you. That's perfect.
Everybody ready?
Everybody else good?
Nope.
Questions for Coach?
You guys head out onto the road. I guess the Mountain West a little bit more difficult, I think, to win on the road. I mean, we've coached in so many conferences. Is it more difficult to win on the road in the Mountain West?
I just think it's hard anymore, Chris. It's so hard just to win league games. That's why I told the team after we beat Colorado State, I come in and it's like a solemn locker room, and which I like because they knew they didn't play very well. But I want them to know you didn't play very well. We'll figure out those mistakes, but you still won a league game, and winning league games, you got to work to do it. And obviously we played a lot better against Boise State. And then when you go to the road, it's just about concentrating on a different surrounding. Like you're going to have a full house at Utah State, probably not a full house at San Jose State. So it's just different. And so when you handle those different surroundings, guys have got to be consistent. That's why we try to be consistent with our prep as coaches and make it as similar, whether we're home, away, non-conference, conference, everything's trying to be as same as you can make it.
San Jose State's typically not one of the better teams in the conference, but they did just beat New Mexico at home. I mean, are you using that game to kind of show
Well, not just that game. They lost at San Diego State, who I think is a top 10 team in the country right now. All the film I've watched, I think San Diego State's terrific. And they nearly won at San Diego State. They lost on a last-second OB play, so where Malachi Flynn made a tremendous shot at the buzzer. They're tied at Fresno. Fresno has to shoot 60% to get away from them at home. They beat New Mexico. I mean, this is a team that has been really playing well, really since the end of December. So we know we're playing a team that's much better than what their record is, and they're playing at home. And it's a crucial road win, or crucial road game for us to try to get a win.
What do you make of the league as a whole, I guess, through just a few games?
Yeah, obviously haven't got back to seeing everybody yet. When I was in the league, there was BYU, Utah, so there's been a lot of changes to the Mountain West. But my first time, again, I don't know that. Jack may know it for sure. It might be my first time playing San Jose State. I've been doing this a long time, and yet it might be the first time I've played them, at least since I've been out west. And so I've never been to this facility, so it's all different, even for me. So the league's changed a little bit. You got a lot of new coaches, a lot of young coaches that are now starting their careers, which is fun and exciting for an older guy that's been doing it a while. That's been fun and exciting to see how the new systems are trying to get in play. And we're just trying to continue to build our culture. And this team's done a phenomenal job of just listening and right now growing. And growing has really been the thing we've been emphasizing the most.
What do you feel like is the next hurdle for you guys as you hit this first road week on the road?
Well, we've talked about not so much of what needs to take place on offense or what needs to take place on defense. It's just growing week to week, game to game. And that's always critical in league play. You're going to see you got this happening in our league already. It happens across the leagues, across the country, where teams will go through 2 weeks and not play very well. And you don't know what those reasons are. It could be how you're eating, what fluids you're getting in, what's your rest like, is it injuries, taking care of your bodies, what is it your preparation? So we're really talking to our guys more about, hey, we just had a really good win against Boise. Now you got to turn around a few nights later, and can you go on the road then and do so? It's really been trying to help them because a lot of them have not done this. I think Niz has been there, Jazz has been there, Lindsay's been there. Other than that, nobody else has been there. So it's a lot of new things that are happening that we're just trying to keep our guys on an even keel of understanding it's game to game.
The 3-0 start to conference play, what do you feel has been the common denominator throughout?
With what now? I'm sorry.
The common denominator through your 3 Mountain West wins?
Just growth. We were much better against Boise than we were against Air Force, which was 4 weeks ago. And I thought we put an emphasis on that going into the Air Force game, that it was an odd year in the mountain where you're going to play one game and then you got to sit 4 weeks on it. And we want to make sure we were sitting on 1-0 for 4 weeks, not 0-1. I think that was a big mindset for our guys once we got back into league play. And though we didn't play particularly well against Colorado State, we'd been off about 10, 12 days, I thought they found ways to win, which we didn't do against St. Mary's. I thought we played a really good basketball game against St. Mary's, but in the last 4 minutes, their stars took over, made plays. We didn't. And I thought against Colorado State, our guys made plays. And then we saw some carryover in that with Boise State.
You guys are top 15 in the nation in three-point shooting and three-point shooting defense. Maybe the shooting's not a surprise because you thought this was a good shooting
Right.
team. Why have you guys been so good at defending the three-point ball?
Yeah, I think that's crucial. We've seen some growth with this team because even back in August, I said I thought this team had a chance to be a good shooting team, and we are. We're a very good jump shooting team. We got to figure out a way to get to the free throw line more because we're 75% there. I think we have a positive at the free throw line or at the three-point line. We got negative at the free throw line because we don't get there enough and we foul too much. So that's something where we can grow both offensively and defensively. But our guys have really paid attention to scouting reports. They paid attention to personnel. They've done a good job of chasing the right guys off the line and done a good job of letting guys that like to shoot that don't make shots do that, if that makes sense. So they've done a good job of listening, and hopefully we can continue to grow that way because in today's game, the three-point line is such a huge piece to both your offense and your defense.
Why do you think you guys have struggled getting to the line?
It's a good question. One, we don't throw it to the post enough. We got young post guys. So our posts are learning, they're growing. It's going to be something that this program will evolve to where we'll do that much, much more. And it's not just so much throwing it to the post in half court, it's getting them in transition. It's getting them in pick and roll situations where we're hitting them more. And we just don't do that enough. And then when we drive, we've got to drive with a little bit more aggressive purpose of not wanting to foul, but we initiate and get the foul because of our aggressiveness. So those are two areas that I just think we've got to get better at because we're a good foul shooting team. So it's a weapon that we're not using right now.
What are the keys to succeeding on the road, I guess, just in broad terms?
Well, with San Jose, and that's where my focus is, with San Jose, it starts with transition. They're very, very good. They're one of the fastest teams out west. They're the fastest tempo in the Mountain West right now. So it's going to be a fast game, a quick game, because we don't want to slow it up either. But we've got to be smart. We've got to be more disciplined. We got to take care of their transition, their backboard. They get 10.5 offensive rebounds a game, so we've got to rebound well. And then we got to defend the dribble drive. I think more than actions, we got to be able to defend the dribble drive. And for those three things we can do, then whether we're making or missing shots, it's going to give us a chance to get a road win.
The bench has been really a big
Terrific.
strength for you guys with
It's-
only 9 scholarship players. Has that been a surprise, and why do you think
Not so much a surprise as just something that has been a pleasure seeing happen because we knew Niz was fired up to get his chance because it's what happens in college basketball. You got sometimes you got to wait your opportunity, and he's made tremendous strides in doing what we just want him to do. Be a strong defender, take good shots. He's getting nearly 10 points a game off our bench, and now you're seeing the emergency of Zane. Zane's starting to, I think, really understand how hard you have to play at this level. Most young guys, it takes a while to figure that out, that it's just different. It's a different work ethic in high school and college and then the NBA or professional. It's a whole different workload, and I think he's learning that. Kane's going to continue to improve, and KJ's improving leaps and bounds. So we're just seeing growth out of our bench, and that's been good because that's been a big key for us.
What does it say about Nizre's mental toughness to go through the year he went through last year and then be such a different player this season?
Yeah, you'd probably have to ask him that more than me. I appreciate it. I wasn't here last year, so I don't know all that he went through, but he didn't get a lot of time, and that's not to say he should have, because they obviously had an incredible year. So it's just a matter of waiting your time. But when you get your time and a new coaching staff's come in, can you get that time and then play the role that you're asked to play and do it at a high level? And through 15 games, he's really done a good job at that.
Thanks, Coach.
Have fun, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.